found the Calgary Tutoring Center via word of mouth. A friend of mine had had experience with their tutors before, and she recommended that I give them a call. So when I first contacted the Calgary Tutoring Center, I sent an email to their email address, and then Alixe telephoned me. And we had a very long, very thorough conversation where he asked me all kinds of questions about my daughter, about her learning style, what her learning needs were, and he seemed extremely knowledgeable and very capable. He also was very reassuring, where he said to me that he absolutely had just the right tutor for her. So right off the bat, I felt very good about that. So the reason that we never looked anywhere else, primarily, for any other kind of tutoring is because of how accommodating Alixe has been over the years. So we've been with them for, I want to say 5 or 6 years. And we've had a variety of different tutors, both for my daughter and for my son. And the thing that has kept me returning, I would say, is how available Alixe is. He answers emails, telephone calls. If I ever have any questions or concerns or comments, both positive or not so positive, he's very open to hear it. And at any time, he would just return my call immediately or my email very quickly as well. Well, I think in general, I would like Alixe to know just how appreciative we are about all of the help over the years that he and his tutors have provided. And I can say that we had one experience where we had a conflict, I would say, with one of the tutors, and he responded very well, very appropriately. And it was a situation where my daughter had an exam the next day, and the tutor had called and said, you know, she couldn't come. And that was sort of the tail end of a series of a bunch of issues. It just wasn't a good fit. And he himself came to my home and helped Bray to get ready for her exam. And he just said, I'll come, I will help you. And he said, I know exactly what to do to help her. And then after that, provided us with another tutor right away. So we haven't had a lack of service. We haven't had any gaps in service. Anytime that there has been a request that we've made, he, like I say, he's very reassuring, and he would always say, I have just the right tutor for you. And even with my son, one of the ways that I had said, you know, he's a very busy young man, and he's a competitive athlete. The only day that we could have a tutor come, he said, I can find somebody for you for that day. Having all of these different tutors come in our home, initially you kind of think, oh God, there's some strange person sitting at my kitchen table, you know. But over a fairly short period of time, it became easy. It wasn't, you know, it didn't feel difficult to have different people in our home. And the reason that I can say that is because I felt like they attended to my kids' learning needs, and they attended to trying to engage them. Some of these are tough situations, right? You've got, you know, a child who's struggling at school, and you want to help them do better. And this is one thing that has been really helpful. And to listen to them struggle through those things, but also then to listen to them have some, you know, some giggles over it as well. So that did happen a fair bit. Yeah. I think what came out of the tutoring that was most important to me was that my daughter in particular stopped having that sense of lack of self-confidence, right? They feel capable when they're in school, and they are. But there are certain things that happen that sometimes are tricky for them to get through, some tough things. And when they start to then you see them kind of have these little moments where, you know, they chipping away at their self-esteem and that kind of stuff. And I wanted that to stop. And I would say that the tutoring was one thing. Certainly before the tutoring, we did have a very detailed assessment done, and that helped us with a variety of how to then recognize specific learning styles. That information was shared with Alixe, and he was very able to then accommodate those learning styles, right? Which led to feeling better about herself, which led to, you know, just a general state of, you know, I'm okay. And yeah, the grades are important. I mean, we can't say that they're not. That's what gets you into university. But if you're getting a great grade, but you don't feel good about yourself, then it doesn't matter to me. For sure, I would say that the tutors were more than just around doing the questions. They were prepared, but they also brought some personality into each and every time that they came into the house. So we learned some things about them. You know, I think that, Bray and I were talking earlier, the first tutor we had was going to be an actuary. And at that time, we didn't know what an actuary was. So we had to, and they wouldn't, I don't think I ever felt like they had to rush out. Sure, they'd say, okay, I have another session I have to get to. But if they needed extra time, they would stay for a few minutes, or they'd say, look, start on this, call me later if you have more struggles. Never felt that it was a closed door at all in any way.